faint glow of neon signs flickered against the darkening sky as Terrence parked his dusty pickup truck in front of Elliot's Tap Room, a modest bar just off Highway 74 in North Carolina. The bar wasn't anything fancy, just a staple for locals, truckers, and road-weary souls looking for a cold drink in a quiet corner. Terrence, having just returned from deployment a week ago, wanted nothing more than a moment to relax before heading back to the demands of everyday life. Pushing open the creaky door, Terrence stepped inside and was greeted by a wave of chatter and the hum of an old jukebox playing Johnny Cash. He scanned the room, taking in the usual crowd, a couple of regulars playing pool, a group laughing at the bar, and a few loners sipping beer in silence. He didn't come here to make friends, just to decompress. He found a corner table near the back, tucked away but with a clear view of the room. His camouflage uniform blended into the dim ambiance, save for the scuffed sneakers on his feet, shoes chosen for comfort, not appearance. Terrence ordered a glass of water and nursed it quietly, his thoughts drifting to the family he was finally going to see after so many months. His mother's cooking and his niece's excited voice were all he could think about. The door slammed open, breaking his reverie. A group of 6 men strode in, their heavy boots echoing on the wooden floor. They were older, their leather jackets emblazoned with patches and insignias that told the world they were veterans. They were loud, laughing and clapping each other on the back as they made their way to the bar. Terrence gave them a passing glance before returning to his drink. But one of the men didn't just glance back. The leader, a burly man with a salt and pepper beard and piercing eyes, froze mid-laugh when he noticed Terrence. He muttered something to his group, and they all turned to look. Their laughter quieted, replaced by a simmering tension that slowly filled the room. Terrence felt their stares, but didn't acknowledge them. He'd experienced that kind of look before, the one that sized you up, judged you without context. He sipped his water, trying to focus on the jukebox instead of the growing unease that seemed to ripple through the air. At the bar, the group huddled closer, their voices low but pointed. The burly leader whispered something, and one of the others laughed, casting a pointed glance in Terrence's direction. Terrence kept his calm, his posture relaxed, but his senses sharp. He had learned long ago to stay composed under pressure, lessons from years of service. Still, the weight of their stares didn't go unnoticed. The night, which had started as a simple escape, was about to take a turn Terrence hadn't anticipated. The hum of the jukebox was drowned out by the heavy thuds of boots as the group of men made their way toward Terrence's table. Their leader, the burly man with the salt and pepper beard, was at the front, his eyes locked on Terrence like a hawk, sizing up its prey. Terrence felt the shift in energy even before they reached him. The room, once filled with casual chatter, grew noticeably quieter. The bartender paused mid-pour, and the regulars glanced at the group with wary eyes. Terrence set his glass down and leaned back slightly, his calm demeanor masking the alertness that had settled into his muscles. "Hey!" the leader barked, stopping just a few feet from Terrence. His voice was rough, gravelly, and laced with an edge of disdain. "Nice uniform you got there. Where'd you get it? A Halloween store?" The men behind him chuckled, their laughter thick with mockery. Terrence looked up, his expression steady. He'd heard worse, much worse. "It's mine," he replied evenly. "Earned it." The leader raised an eyebrow, feigning surprise. "Earned it, huh? That's funny, because I've seen plenty of real soldiers, and none of them wear sneakers with their fatigues. You're trying to play dress up for sympathy, or maybe a free drink."
Terrence's jaw tightened slightly, but his voice remained level. "I don't need sympathy or free drinks. I'm just here to enjoy my evening." The leader's lips curled into a smirk as he leaned in closer, his beer-soaked breath invading Terrence's space. "You don't look like no soldier to me," he sneered. "Where are your boots, your tags? Hell, you probably don't even know how to salute properly," one of the men behind him added. "Bet he couldn't tell us the first thing about basic training," another chimed in. "Probably never seen a battlefield in his life." The group erupted in laughter again, their voices grating against the low hum of the jukebox. Terrence stayed silent, his eyes moving between the men. He wasn't intimidated, but he wasn't about to fan the flames either. His years in the service had taught him how to pick his battles. But there was something about this encounter that rubbed him raw. It wasn't just their words, it was the audacity, the ignorance. "I don't need to prove anything to you," Terrence said, finally, his voice calm but firm. The leader, now visibly irritated by Terrence's composure, stepped even closer, his large frame looming over the table. "You think you're some kind of hero, huh? Walking in here like you belong. I don't think you do." The room seemed to hold its breath. Terrence met the man's gaze, unflinching. "I served 3 tours overseas," he said, his voice steady but carrying an edge. "And I don't need your approval to belong anywhere."
The laughter stopped for a moment. The leader hesitated, his bravado faltering under the weight of Terrence's words, but pride wouldn't let him back down. Instead, he scoffed. "Yeah, prove it. Show us your tags, otherwise you're nothing but a liar." Terrence's eyes flicked to the others in the group, noting their uneasy glances. They weren't as sure about their leader's accusations now, but none of them dared to speak up. He exhaled slowly, resisting the urge to escalate. "I don't owe you proof," he said, "but if you think starting something here is a good idea, I'd suggest you think again." The tension in the room was palpable. The bartender's hand hovered near the phone, ready to call for help. The other patrons shifted in their seats, their eyes darting between Terrence and the group. And yet the leader didn't move. Instead, his smirk returned, sharper and meaner than before. "You got a smart mouth," he said, his voice low and threatening. "Let's see if it's as quick as your fists." The moment hung in the air, stretched tight like a wire ready to snap. The leader's smirk curled deeper as he lunged forward, his hand reaching for Terrence's collar. His movement was clumsy, driven more by bravado than skill, but it was enough to set everything in motion. Terrence didn't think, he reacted. Years of training kicked in, and with a swift, precise movement, he sidestepped the grab, catching the man's wrist in midair. In one fluid motion, Terrence twisted the arm behind the man's back and used his weight to push him forward, pinning him face first against the edge of the table. The leader let out a strangled yelp of pain, his bravado evaporating in an instant. The bar erupted in gasps and murmurs as the remaining bikers froze, their wide-eyed stares fixed on their immobilized leader. For a moment, no one moved. Terrence's voice cut through the stunned silence, low and controlled, but carrying an unmistakable authority. "I told you to think twice before starting something." He leaned in slightly, his grip firm but not excessive. "You don't know who you're messing with." The leader struggled against Terrence's hold, but it was no use. The soldier's calm efficiency left no room for error or escape. From across the room, one of the bikers took a hesitant step forward, his hands raised in a half-hearted attempt to intervene. "Hey man," he stammered, "let him go. He didn't mean nothing by it." Terrence glanced up, his eyes locking onto the man. "He came at me. You saw it." His voice was steady, unshaken by the chaos around him. "If you want him free, tell him to calm down first." The bartender, who had been silently watching with a phone in hand, finally spoke up. "Maybe it's time for you all to leave before this gets worse." But the leader, Hank, as one of his buddies called him, wasn't ready to back down completely. Even with his arm twisted and his face pressed to the table, he snarled through gritted teeth. "Call the cops. This guy just assaulted me. He's wearing a fake uniform and I want him arrested." Terrence released him with a controlled shove, and Hank stumbled forward, clutching his arm as he turned to glare at the soldier. "You'll pay for this," he growled, his tone dripping with malice.